There we go. Hello, everyone. So I'm back today, and I just got back from watching Steph Curry Underrated, the documentary. Now, I'm going to be a little bit biased here because, basketball is fun. And so my analysis of this in from being a critic is going to be a little bit less than maybe normally. Now, there are a few things I had issues with, but for the most part, I'm going to just talk about how awesome Steph Curry is. So just get ready for that. Um, I went into this extremely excited. I think everyone around me was also very excited, which really helped the mood and the environment and the atmosphere. That being, well, no, not that being said, and it was amazing. I mean, it did a great job showing Steph Curry from college to the NBA and kind of mirroring the two and kind of putting together both those stories. The story of the kind of the 2022 season, along with some other career highlights of it, starts off with him breaking the 3-point record last season. And it also weaves in some of his Davidson days, including obviously the miraculous, deep NCAA run in his second year at Davidson. So I think that this really showed a lot about Steph Curry, and obviously it showed a lot of him just playing basketball. And there were points where this did become a little bit of the, oh, this is like a YouTube documentary. We're just clipping footage together for like 25 minutes, and it's going to be great. Now, that being said, I loved it because, I like watching Steph Curry play basketball. So therefore, if Steph Curry is playing basketball on a screen, then it is very fun. Now, the other funny thing, which I guess I didn't consider when I was watching this, was there were a lot of people there who didn't know, like, kind of Steph's story in that way. And so there were points, in games where we people who know Steph Curry's kind of story know which games he wins and which ones he doesn't, especially in the first two NCAA tournament runs. And they did a good job kind of saying, oh yeah, we understand some of our audience won't remember or won't know about some of these things. So we're gonna, and there was real suspense for games where I was like, oh yeah, I know what happens here, just because I know the history. But there was some real suspense there, which I thought was actually really interesting, because that's not what I expected from this movie. Like I didn't even like comprehend the fact that, oh yeah, there's gonna be people who, if it's not done right, will basically feel no like emotion, right? Because obviously I know Steph's story, relatively speaking, because I like watching basketball, but that's a very different thing. And then the other funny thing I found was, they're going through Steph's kind of, championship run. And although they conveniently skip over the blown 3-1 lead in the finals to the Cavs, but there's clearly a bias here, which we have to acknowledge, which is Steph Curry's bias. But then they showed the 2019 finals kind of at the end of that, toward the end of that, like, clip show, I guess, of the run. And it's so funny because you're in Canada watching it when they show the end of that finals game, obviously, where Toronto beats Golden State and wins the NBA championship, and everyone just starts cheering. Like at least half the audience starts clapping and cheering, and and that's when you're like, oh yeah, I'm in Toronto watching this. So it's a very different kind of vibe than maybe watching it with a bunch of diehard Golden State fans. But yeah, that was also, I found that funny because I was like, yeah, let's go Toronto. No, I mean, it was kind of funny that that was what they did, and that's how they kind of decided. That's how you knew it was kind of in Toronto. But yeah, I mean, there were parts like in that kind of stretch, for example, where they did do a little bit too much of like, oh, people are just gonna sit here and love watching Steph Curry, which granted I did. Again, like it's kind of hard for me to be critical about that because I did enjoy sitting there and watching Steph Curry play basketball. But it did feel a little bit lazy, when you look back on it. But just the whole experience of watching that story unfold, and it was still told really well. They found some amazing archive footage. They really did do so much great stuff. And honestly, yeah, I mean, I was impressed. I mean, I loved it. This was the most exciting one for me, just because the subject matter also happened to be, something I love to watch. So, and obviously I love Steph Curry, so that really helped the whole scenario. But man, if that doesn't make you want Steph Curry to win like 700 more championships, then I honestly don't know what will. Yeah, if you're a basketball fan and you love basketball, you'll love this. If you loved, like, Fred had a documentary. Michael Jordan had The Last Dance, obviously. But if you just love sports documentaries, if you love sports, if you love Steph Curry, and honestly, there are people, again, like I was saying, who do. It seemed, at least, okay, and this might just be my perspective based on what they were saying and interacting, but listening to them, it didn't feel like there were some people there who it felt like did not know or love basketball like that, and still managed to enjoy this documentary. And I think I can't really separate myself from that to kind of say whether or not, if you don't like sports, you'll like this documentary. But I mean, it's an underdog story, right? It's literally called Steph Curry Underrated, or Stephen Curry Underrated. But I think, again, this was amazing. Like, I don't even have a script. I actually been writing scripts for these. This one isn't script. This review is scriptless. I was just so hyped after watching that. I think most people were hyped after watching it. I think people left the theater hyped, which is weird. And so I think, people leaving all hyped and stuff was just amazing. And I think that's all I have to say about this documentary. But honestly, just go watch it. You won't regret it if you go watch it. With that being said, I think that's all I have to say on that one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts. Follow us on social media at comicboys_. Follow me at collegejamal03 on all those social medias, because we are media accredited for the Hot Docs Film Festival, which means you'll be getting great coverage and a few, maybe more interviews coming soon as well. I think I just broke that news here. However, that is true. So you want to click subscribe, because that's what everyone tells you to do, and that's what I'm telling you to do. Because trust me, when I say we're going all out, oh Lord, we're going all out for this festival. So do that, and thank you all for watching. Oh, and leave comments too, and like the video, and then leave comments about Steph Curry. Just type in the comments, Steph is the GOAT, okay? Thank you, and see you all next time.